what is touch therapy, what is a performance therapy, what is a role play therapy, and what is a sex therapy. Okay, today I will be discussing different topics. Wow, I am live, amazing. Okay, oh my gosh, probably it is a very important stream could not be created. Why stream is back? Haha. Okay, my name is Julia and I am erotic content creator, erotic photographer and videographer, and I am based in London. I'm working in my studio in London, Adult Creative Studio, and today's topic is touch is the therapy. Touch is the therapy, and that is something what we practice at my studio. This is the first thing. You know, touching people, touching yourself, right? Using your hands. Using your hands. When you can say and when you can tell that there is a situation between the couple, when it's not working out, when they stop touching each other. This is the first thing. You can see that when they stop being tactile to each other, right? And there are different, you see, there are different kind of types of people, right? Some really express themselves through the touch, right? Some really express themselves through the gifts. Some really, you know, there are different ways. But you see, intimacy and connection with the human, the first step goes through the touch, right? And here at the studio, me, you know, just working with adults, with individuals or with couples, practicing touch. You see, practicing touch and using hands. Why I'm saying using hands, okay? And what it is erotic. I create erotica and we use hands, okay? Touch therapy. You see, when there is a friction and you start touching yourself, right? You start touching yourself, you create a certain energy. When you stop thinking about different things and when your mind combined with your touch in that same moment, you are able to achieve something, right? And very often I have this situation with adults when they come to my studio and say, I don't know how to be sexy. They stand in front of the camera, and it happened with a hot, dead drop, gorgeous ladies, I can tell you. Very hot ladies. Sometimes I would just think, you know, how you don't know? For me, for some people, it comes naturally. Sexuality, express your sexuality through, you know, people think that sexuality is something when you undress, take your clothes off, expose your genitalia, touch yourself out there. That is sexuality, right? I am here to explain that sexuality is something different. It's a communication, right? It's a certain energy that adults translate about themselves and actually include in erotic photo shoots, right? That's how we start erotic scenes and scenarios, okay? I am not going down straight away there and shooting vaginas and penises. No, erotic photo should start from the presentation of yourself, of your body, and of your fantasy or imagination. That's where erotica starts. How you see yourself, how you can play with yourself, what kind of fantasy, what kind of role you can assign to yourself, what you can try, how you can experiment, how you can be flexible and creative with yourself. Because erotica, it is something what it is creative. Why people struggling with sexuality and intimacy? Because they stop creating, they stop being creative, right? Most likely they know that they know everything. Then they know that they know everything about their partner, right? And then it goes into routine, and if everyone knows everything, they just stop being curious. They just stop asking questions, and they just stop testing new waters and going into that inquisitive mind mode, interested in new options, in new dimensions, in general. You see, erotica, it's a new thing, it's a new experience, it's a new adventure. Why people would like to go into infidelity? Because that is clearly new. It is very hard to reinvent yourself, re-edit your wife, re-edit your husband, redo things in a new way. It is much easier to go and go somewhere else. So today I'm talking about touch, and about touch is like a therapy, because without touch we can't create new things. It's a chance. Very often for couples is a chance to feel themselves in a different way. So when they are starting shooting, for example, erotic photo shoots, they approach each other. They undress each other. To undress each other, you need to touch. It just the clothes are not dropping off with the blink. You see? So you need to create that situation, and you need to go into that mode, undress things, like undress your partner in a certain way. Now everyone undressing differently, I can tell you. There are sexy undressing and there is no sexy undressing. There is undressing that can be improved and moved into a sexy mode. And there is some undressing who needs to practice and practice and practice till they got it. And I've done this in my studio, because there was times when I just could not take enough time. People just need to go back home and practice how to undress sexy, because they would just do not understand the concept. When you're undressing, you need to play with yourself and absorb attention, so that it will be interesting for someone to watch. And you have to feel something, so you need to be exposed. And you need to be, in a certain vibe and energy, so that person who you're undressing in front of feels something. So erotica, it's about feeling. Yeah, you make someone to feel something. Beautiful, not beautiful, doesn't matter. You see, when people are going to have a photo shoot, they think that they need to lose weight, they think that they need to prepare, but it is all about your confidence, and it is all about the state you are in. Seriously, it's all about that. Okay, you're not gonna be more sexy, you just get more confidence if you are going to prepare yourself physically, let's say, right? That's about the confidence. Erotica is about being in a certain state and vibrating in a certain element. And today I'm discussing about touch. Topic is touch is like a therapy. Touch for individual and for a couple, it's a different matter, right? When they're practicing touch, individuals, they're working with themselves towards a certain relationship. When the couples are touching, they're working between themselves, but it also can fix them individually, because it's just they have certain energies when they're touching. So they can have a combined energy which connects them depending on the touch, how far they will go with the touch. And then they can have individual emotions. And individual emotions, it means that when you receiving the touch, giving the touch or touching someone or touching yourself, it's one thing. But when you're receiving a touch from someone else and letting yourself to be touched, that is a totally another thing. And both things, vice versa, not necessarily equally accepted. So at my studio, the first thing what I do, of course, we are glancing and gazing into each other and smiling to each other and this. But the photo shoot starts from the physical touch. Okay? And they have to perform that touch on camera, that they would be, they would be so sexy, that they would be so wanting, that they will be so wanted as well, desired. Okay, so that's the whole play, and that's the whole game about, to record that and to be able to express that, to create that by your command. When people being touched, very often they do not experience the sensation which other person would feel. They will feel awkward, they will feel ashamed, they will feel unpleasant, they would not want to continue, and so there are a lot of, you see, about intimacy and intimate touch, there is a lot of negative perceptions. And that is why people are coming to erotic photo shoot not to get naked and frisky and playful. Majority of them just processing their own negativity and that information which is stuck inside them. And this information did not come from them. It came from the community they've been coded and grown up with. It came from the family, it came from the school, it came from the friends, it came from, the surroundings. Their sexuality and understanding about their sexuality came from outside of the world. Now, they, as a personality, they are growing inside their body. They're actually in their own spaceship. And their own spaceship is not like any other spaceship in this planet. Can you imagine how amazing is that? So your spaceship is unique. And you are the captain of your spaceship. And that is why when I'm saying erotic photo shoots, they can be two types. One, when you're shooting your spaceship or you're shooting your suit you are in. That's one type of the photo shoot, okay? When people don't need to feel anything, when people don't need to go into experiments, they just come, undress, shoot their spaceship, go right, go left, maybe erection shots, maybe this, straightforward and simple. And I can tell you that even for some people, even doing that, which for me is basic, basic photography, basic nude art photography, that's very like a beginning of, in general, creating erotic session. Because people, when they begin, they have to get rid of this negativity. They have to get rid of being someone else feeling, or wanting to be someone else. Or they need to get rid of the feeling that there is something wrong with them. Or there is someone else better in there. Or they want to, to perform and try the things that they've seen somewhere, okay? And not really about being themselves, right? So at the beginning, we just work on that, and that is affected and indicated by the certain energy. The things what they do, it's related directly with their body. How they think about their body, what's changed in their body, how they accept themselves, how confident they are in their body, okay? How open-minded they are with their body, how much they coping the situation where there is touch involved, okay? And the situation is in erotica, and when you create erotic photography, you have to touch yourself to get turned on. Most of the time, that's how it works. You touch yourself and you experience a certain emotion. And one emotion could be the one which is stopping you to go to a sexual level and arousal. And what's stopping you? The only things what is stopping you is negative thoughts. Okay? Oh, what if she would see this? Oh, what if she would see my tummy hanging? Or what if she would see my, saggy bum? Or what my breasts are not perky? Or, or I'm too small, maybe not like her models. Or maybe, I'm not enough work. There are so many things what people are think about. And that's why they don't do erotic photo shoots. But a happy life does not is not content with these things. They just thoughts which are unpleasant, negative thoughts about that person specifically. And at the beginning, we're working with this package most of the time. When people are in a profession, I don't know, actors, singers, dancers, okay, bodybuilders, whatever, sportsmen, okay, they work with their body and they work with their confidence. Okay, bloggers, whatever, celebrities, yeah, they work with that topic. They're on a different level of energy. They don't go through this negativity mountain. Okay, I'm talking about normal people. When people come from the photo shoot to the photo shoot and they are professional and confident, they undress and they perform and they enjoy. And believe it or not, I am doing this very fast and I enjoy with them. And I go into creativity levels like never. You know, when I was looking younger, much younger, I'm looking at these Vogue magazines and Vogue covers and thinking, oh my God, how much of, you know, like they have to like that's the work they've done. That's the serious. But then I've realized that when you work with the certain energy, with the certain person who is absolutely on a different vibration, he's a model. He is just doing it like that. Seriously, that's the easiest thing to work with the models because they provide this. You don't need to stand on your head and try to, you know, move them this way or that way, change the posing, change, you know, like with people who do not control their body, who not driving their spaceship. They're not able to create an erection in time they want. They're not able to hold that erection. They're not able to control. When women want to look sexy and they are overdoing it and overthinking it, it's not happening for them as well. Okay, this is the situation which I am realistically going in. But what my job is to take that unpleasant emotion, right? To evidence this as much as possible. And through the body touch and through the body movement, physical body, you know, put that physical body in a different shapes and frames and tell that person to do many things to get rid of that. You know, negative information come from the body in this way, in a stiffness. You see, people are like that. Okay, the hands are like that, shoulders are like, you know, they doing ridiculous poses, you know. They think that, you know, if they do like that, it's so beautiful, you know, or just and you can see that during that erotic photo shoot, that negative energy this way comes out, you know. And I'm shooting this and everyone is expressing through their own perspective and through their own prisma. But when they done all of that, okay, then they come down. Then they start feeling differently. That expression is necessary. People, for example, who doing Tai Chi, they're shooting in a different way, you know. They're very much, because they're working with their energy, you know, they're very flexible. You tell them, they repeat, okay? Seriously. So that's what I'm saying. Our negative emotions are embodied inside of us and they're blocking. They're blocking your sexual energy. They're blocking your actions. They're blocking your, you know, your ideas, your thoughts. They just there to stop you. There is no other agenda. If you do not understand what's happening, you try. You undress in front of the camera and then ask someone to take a picture of you and then look at that picture and think, what did you thought about that moment? Did you thought that you are the most sexiest and gorgeous and amazing looking person? Or you thought about different kind of inhibitions? What the hell am I doing? How do I hell I'm looking? Oh my God, I'm like very fat today, or I'm many these kind of, you know, thoughts. They are, you see why they are there? They are like demons. They are designed and they are put on the humanity to extract your energy so that you think about all that kind of rubbish. On and on and on and on and on. And then your day passed and you will think, oh, this time is running so quickly and I'm getting older and I have not achieved anything. Because from the moment you already been consumed by those demons who are playing the same, you know, song. We are loading into this game in the morning, okay, and we're supposed to live a very, you know, different life. But majority of us repeats the scenario, you know, from the next day, from the previous day. That's how everything goes. So we're now in a different era, in a different world, and energy matters. And understand that energy is the key, is the most important thing. You see, it's important thing in terms of self-healing and self-therapy. And adults have the only energy resource, which is inside of your spaceship. The system is being wired inside of you, and this is a reproductive system. Reproductive system is there so that you will prolong your life. It means that you would produce babies, but this reproductive system is a huge energy source. And you, when you're done with the babies, you're not done with the source. Every day you create that sexual energy. This is your identity. This is how other people read you, and this is how other people accept you, and this is how other people indicate and match with you or dismatch if your energy is off. Okay, this is how you fancy people. This is how you get confident, and this is how you get happy in life, through that energy, and of course make money. So adult energy is related with sexuality. You see, children's energy, okay, is not related with sexuality. When you are a child, your sexuality just being formed. You need to become adult to be in that, become an energy source of your sexuality. But during that time, childhood, yes, the Freud already told us about 5 stages of development, yes, ego development in the childhood. And the most important, probably we want to mention 2. I would say 2, but maybe 3, because they are the strongest one. First is the oral phase, second is the anal phase, and the third one is the perverty experience. That's where this is where it gets all formed, you see, and we have this in our system, and everyone went through these stages in one or the other. That's why people react this way, in a certain pleasure, in a certain stimulation, in a certain area when it gets attended to, right? So talking about touch, when you touch, you create a friction, and when your mind is up for something, right, it means sexuality is here. So basically physical touch creates an energy, and you start fantasizing. Sexuality becomes from your fantasy, but this is imagination factor. That's the resource. If there is no imagination, your intimate life will be on the low vibration. Intimate sexual life on the low vibration. That's why people come to my studio, adult creative studio, to develop that imagination factor, to understand how it feels when you are a creator. And when you are a creator with yourself and with your partner in the bedroom, it's the same you are a creator in anywhere else, in any life, aspect. You see? So let me just go and discuss a little bit more about today's topic, because today I am discussing about touch, physical touch, and touch creates erotic energy, sensual energy, right? Sensuality, and of course erotica includes a lot of elements. You see, erotica is, and in general, how to say, we can just say that erotica is that rebellion or the aliveness energy. When I'm saying aliveness, you see couples. There are couples who look alive, and there are couples who look dead. Not for real, but that's how they look, right? And there are couples in the middle, not alive but not dead. Okay, that's kind of what energy is. So I work with couples who are alive, and these photo shoots with couples who are in this energy are very straightforward. Okay, they vibrate in this energy, and they just need some ideas, and they just need someone to be there for them to witness their energy, because that is a resource that they can later use and fulfill themselves when they run out. You know what I mean? When they get older. That's the charge of, that's the investment, right? There are options There are options in between. Like I say, when couple is not dead and when couple is not alive. Those options in between most of the time is this. Threesome fantasy, erotic photo shoot. Cockle fantasy, erotic photo shoot. Okay. And there is, I don't know, fetishes, different kind of fetishes, you see, because the way I see this is when you are very, very high energy, high sexual drive, desire, passion, you really want someone, right? You really want your partner. Do you need anyone third there? No, no, seriously. Do you need? You know? The most likely not. You know? When I'm talking about addictions, for example, you know, different kind of addictions. Addictions for drugs, and addictions for alcohol, addiction for smoking. You see, people, if they are absolutely happy in the highest vibration, they don't need to get drunk. You know? They don't. They are drunk from their happiness, you know, or they are high from that life that they are living. They are getting high from the things what they're doing and how they're living sober. You see? But when people are start taking something extra stimulation, they're not happy. They need it to stimulate, to simulate that. Simulation is not real, right? Illusion. So when people need a third person, you know, very often couple will write me or call me and say, I would like a couple's photo shoot and we would like to book a model. That's fine. You know, erotica, it's about trying new things and experimenting, right? But they in their head do not realize that they're booking threesome. It's not a couple's photo shoot. It's a threesome. You see? So in their mind, they do not realize that they want to add another person into their couple's photo shoot, and that is already a threesome. And people, when they need threesome, when twosome is not working, or something is missing in the twosome, or they need to reconnect, you know, or they need to re-edit their relationship, or they need to go, you know, from some kind of a crisis, go out, right? That's what they do. They evolve. They try new things and they get new experiences. And all experiences new, especially sexual experiences, they're very limited, you see, in life. There are not many places where you can get them online, you can watch, but that's not the same. It's not going to make you feel. You can play with your mind. Mind doesn't know is it really happened or you know, you just came because, you know, you watched something. It doesn't know, but you know what knows? The energy level is different. Your body. You know, your body gets that hunger if you're constantly not experiencing this. You know? That's a totally different thing when I'm shooting couples who are in love, in a relationship. Doesn't matter, you know, maybe they fight, it doesn't matter, you see, but they come to work this out and they have this passion and they have this how to say idea, fantasy for each other, or they want to try a new fantasy together and do something drastic, something new, to be on the edge, to be risky. You know, that's what erotic photography does. Gives them that opportunity to actually intimately reconnect and find new ways. Not to, you know, when I'm shooting people, I don't want them to how to say, to be themselves. You know, themselves they can be, but how you can reinvent yourself if you're not gonna try new things, right? So I always add something so that they would go into an unfamiliar zone, unknown zone. And then they will make that novelty. I have toys, I have props, I have different kind of ideas for them, right? That's why they're doing this erotic photo shoot. Okay, and there are different levels of people's energy out there. you see. So touch and experience and what it feels like, or someone want to feel how it felt like, you see. So there are people who do not remember how it felt, and they want to remember that. But that involves touch. Okay, and when I'm talking about booking erotic photo shoot with hot and sexy models, sometimes it's related to that. That people want to reconnect with that part of themselves. You know, how it felt like when that and that happened. Maybe it's not even related to this couple issue. You know? So touch and erotic photo shoot is like couples therapy, self-therapy. I would say this therapy is on another level, because there are adult therapies which are verbal. You know what that means, verbal? When they use the language, words, to actually access your programming. That's the verbal. But majority people are visual. You know? They see, they understand. They hear, it's another information. So self-therapy relates to art. What is art? When you see a beautiful, you know, or not necessarily beautiful art piece, right? It is a therapeutic to you because it engages with you. Engage with you energetically. When you are looking at yourself and at your art, it's therapeutic in the way because this is you who is there. And your brain is able to actually record and remember that moment, that in that specific moment you was thinking this way, and then process that information. You understand? So you've been shooting and you've been thinking some kind of the thoughts. You know what that means? I often see people creating erotic photo shoots but thinking about their car, you know, or thinking about their renovation in the house, or maybe thinking that they need to take kids from school, you know. The face has the energy, reflective energy. Even if they're doing it, they can be thinking something else. Very often I can see when that switch happens, and then I change them or I give them something to do so they stop thinking. But I've noticed this, especially when woman is pleased, when man is pleasing the woman or the woman is pleasing herself. I very often notice that she would jump off with her brain, and moments there will be, oh, what I'm doing, or you know, like you could see that there is an excitement and interest, and an inquisitive mind gets shut, even if you're doing things with your hands. You see? So touch is very important. But if your physical body or your machine is connected to your conscious and subconscious mind, you see, and you can, manage it. You can drive your, machine properly. You can be connected to every part and every system the way you're supposed to be. Because what's happening is this, and this happened through the years before, when people used the reproduction for making babies, and they were just doing it. And they were not thinking about love when they were doing it, So this is something what I'm, trying to change here in my studio, because I'm explaining that this is the energy which I am going to record now has to happen this way, and has to be this way. The reason why, because then after 10 years you will see this and you will remember. Me, I will not remember what you've been thinking, but you, in that image or in that video, if you're thinking something not right, you will remember. That's what I'm recording. I'm recording not only a physical body state, but I'm recording mental state as well. Because when people see themselves, and this happens to me someone would do a photo shoot and like say, oh, look at that picture, look at that picture. And I see a really beautiful boudoir photography done by the other photographer. And I say, that looks great. And she says, at that moment, I was very much in pain and my back was hurting. And this happened. So she don't see that beautiful picture. All she sees is that her partner bent her too much backwards and she didn't say anything, and then her back was hurting, and then she was in that position for too long because the photographer was taking a picture and wanted la la la, and she just seen pain. You understand? That's the information. When people are taking photography, they are able to take thoughts and ideas and the feelings through the photography. It's a whole story happening in there. And if it's written and created in a certain way, you can create a material that will be later not only beautiful and useful, but you can be healed by that. Process your all negative thoughts, all the information what came from the other systems and other programs into your system. You know? That's what's happening. So I believe that now we have all the cameras and we know everyone photography, and that's why people are ready. People are ready to re-record themselves and re-edit themselves just by being able to understand how it works. They can change their energy, not by just imagining things. No, actually by seeing themselves directly over here. Right? And if there is that person, for example, me, I'm very intuitively extract all the negative energy from people. They see me, they straight away say to me, what is wrong with them? I'm like unphotogenic, I have this and this, I'm overweight there, I'm this, and I have this scar, and I had this operation, and they already telling me, you know, straight away. First 15 minutes of work. You know? But I believe this is related to my energy, and I have a medical background. That's why probably I extract that information. But any erotic photo shoot starts from the touch. Every erotic photo shoot. And touch not only heals relationship, not only heals you, but touch creates an energy. When you touch yourself, you get the information about yourself. You know, and then what you can do with this information, with that energy, it is up to you. Depending how you touch yourself, where you touch, and what's happening in your conscious and subconscious mind when you are doing it. It gets, you know, elevated, it gets stimulated, or you're still controlling. You see? That's what happens with erotica. Erotica, it's a breakthrough. When people come to create erotica, this is the freedom feeling. This is something what they've never done, never tried before, not being allowing themselves. You see? Not allowing themselves. There is constantly something what is boo, 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 stopping them, you know, like constantly stopping them, you know, and sitting in them. And they rotten and get old. When people create erotica, especially this is visible for mature people, they look younger. They get rid of this, you know, sashes. You know how I call this? You know, bad files. Bad files. It's created and stored in archive with an unpleasant energy. When you go and do things what were not allowed when you was younger, what others will think, you know, and so on, and especially erotic photo shoot with hot and sexy models. That's a breakthrough. That's a breakthrough for men because it puts them from the being lonely and less confident into the zone where when they feel like, yeah, I can do this. I can be with the hot and sexy woman. I can be sexy. I actually very good at being with the woman. And they take a picture to prove themselves, to see themselves, to show their brain that look, this is me. I'm enjoying this. That's what my life should be, not like alone and lonely. But I'm very good with this lady and I'm making her feel amazing. You see? And when this brain understands this information, it just creates the opportunity. So erotic photo shoot with hot and sexy models is one way for lonely people, for single people to explore the intimacy, right? To explore themselves with a stranger, with the person they don't know. It's very risky, right? Feeling, okay? Everything what's risky is related to erotica, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because you see, desire in our life, it's a very tricky thing. Because it is very hard to desire something what you already have. And when you marry, you already have. Or when you start living together, you already have. You know? And so desire comes from the erotica, from the fantasy, from the place, from the new beginning. And that's why people are reinventing and working on their sexuality, because that's needs to be updated and recharged. That energy has to have a certain flow inside of us. What happens with the energy flow? The negativity, which takes that part, right? Everything what's sexual is being banned or is being restricted or being shamed, and people feel guilty by doing it and just not going there, right? They go into a place where it's very, very limited. They're sitting in the box and they're afraid. And they're afraid not only with their intimacy. They lock themselves for many opportunities, for many things, for different life. They lock themselves away, you know? And I can tell you there are a lot of guys who would write me for erotic photo shoot, and I could see how much they're scared. Scared to undress, scared to perform, scared to touch, scared to be naked, scared to expose and show the inhibitions. You know? That's what erotica does. It feels very dangerous. And it feels very, very, very hard. And people who feel this way, they had a traumatic experience in the past, and they all need therapy. Because other people who didn't have such an experience feel very much excited. They cannot wait. You see? They want to enjoy, they want to perform, they want to show, they want to experiment, they want to, I have to say, try new things. They want to. It's a different vibration. So when you are scared and shy to show yourself and so on, people are still in that very low frequency, which is related. I've started this video with the times when we were children, because children are scared. You see? And adults very often fall into that children energy, and children do not have relationships. And children do not have sexual intimacy. Also, children do not have money. They have very little. They have little money. Okay? So that is the situation with these energies. And when people recognize themselves and understand that this is all about that, about adulthood and sexuality and living your confident and happy life. You see, not being scared, not being shy, not being afraid. And that child's energy goes into different systems. For example, for me, social media was a very scary place to go to. That was my children energy. when I was afraid. You see, afraid that someone is gonna talk to me, afraid that someone will comment, afraid that someone will see me, think something about me, judge me. I don't care now. My energy changed. It will not affect me in any way. But there was times, and everyone can revert, everyone can transform. I've seen those transformations from the scared adult into a very confident and hot and sexy adult, regardless of all the imperfections in their body. They just understand finally. You know, that's happened during the photo shoot. Let me just say hi. Today I'm discussing about touch and about erotic photography and how important touch in erotic photo shoot, and of course how important touch when you create erotic energy, right? Because it's not only about looking into your eyes and eye gazing and things, right? Things happen physically on a physical level, and erotic photo shoots are the place where people experiment with their body, getting undressed and getting touched everywhere, and then analyzing and evaluating this experience for themselves. How they felt, it was normal for them, not normal, how it went, how they performed, what they've created, what initiative they taken, what ideas they were able to perform, what fantasies they suggested, what kind of role plays they gave. They evaluate everything. Adulthood is a playfulness time, right? Children, you see, they experimentative and creative in their child zone. Everyone knows that that's how they grow up. Yeah? So that's why you take children into, into kindergartens, into school. That's the activity they have for communication that they can develop and evolve. When adults grow up, they don't have a sexuality school. Okay, they don't even have many mentors or masterminds or guides who would be a great example, for intimate relationship and in general relationship. When I was growing up, I know, because I was thinking about it. I was thinking how many couples I know which will be an example for me. How many couples which I would, could take into account in terms of relationship, in terms of how they good with each other, how they intimate, how they manage this. I knew very little. I knew so little that I even wanted to create erotic photo shoots for couples to see these people, to actually be able to meet these energies and record that information from them, because they are different people. You see, different people in terms of they are there to support each other and to go together through life. They are not there in need, okay? They're not there to take. This is a totally different energy. They're there to create, fulfill, and be happy together. Let me just say hi very quickly, because I just had a long chat already. Hi, hello, hi, hello. This is Julia translating from London about erotic photo shoot, about erotic photography. Thank you, beautiful woman. That's about me. Thank you. You see, I'm really appreciative. The comments and compliments, I can read them out. Before, I can tell you, there was in a vibration that I would be maybe shy and embarrassed. Have you noticed when you say compliment to the woman how she reacts? Sometimes she even doesn't say thank you because she's scared, she feels awkward. There are so many women beautiful who do not know that they're beautiful. And I was one of them before. Yeah, so everyone has a room to change, right? Hi, hello, hi, hello. Beautiful queen, hi, hello, touch. Yes, today topic is about touch. Lol, you are trying not to smile for me. Good morning, beautiful lady. I am from Maine. Talk later. I love you. Great. Okay, you have my attention now, and you can give me a question for couples or for individuals about erotic photography and erotic videos. I can just read it now, right here, and comment. Okay, I'm really glad with your compliments. However, I'm here to give you some information if you like. You have the most beautiful lips. It's a lipstick, very nice. You are sweet and confident. I am sweet and confident because I am talking about the things what I know. You know? That's why. And confidence is sexy. You see? That's how it goes. So when you see people and you think they're sexy, they most likely are in their element. They most likely are telling you things that they really know. Right? And that's why we are admiring singers, because they sing well. They're very good performers, or actors because they are in their role, right? Or politicians or businessmen who are, just know about business and stuff. Everything what's related with erotic energy is sexy. So that's what you see is sexy. Okay, and people who masters of erotic energy, they don't have to flash their genitalia. They are absolutely dressed and they're translating that energy in a different way, right? So intimacy and sexuality is a part of erotica, where you practice, right, doing things which are interested. But erotica in general, it's a lifestyle, a lifestyle. That's the thing. But very often what happens is that people use their erotica in a life that is their probably their business most of the time. Most of the people using for their creativity, for their hobby, and for their business. Okay, someone great playing golf, someone great at meetings and doing their job. When you go to see, I can tell you about my partner. When he was going to work, he was dressing like he's going on a date. The amount of the things that the way preparation gone, this is like he wanted to be the most sexiest, the most wanted attention, charismatic, everything about that is erotic. Okay, unfortunately there are men who use that erotic energy elsewhere, okay, but not in the family, and then bring leftovers, that kind of a situation happens with erotica and with erotic energy. I would love to see some of your work. That's something what I will be working on, updating my website, so stay tuned, and I will be chatting and I will be inviting very soon. Okay, I have decided to create a membership areas where I can show more of my work. And that's something what I will be announcing very soon. Double tapping on the screen with just the tip. With just the tip. Double tapping on the screen with just the tip. I don't know anything about tips here, okay? I just have enough followers to go live, okay? That is why I'm using this channel. And there was some professionals from social media who created me US channel. That's ridiculous, okay? It's just so funny. I don't know why they did this, but probably there is a higher force and it directed me there. So that is why I'm here, okay? And that's why I'm talking to you. I have plenty of energy, especially for that. Good to know. What phase do you like? What phase? What phase do I like? You know what phase do I like? I like an action phase. Okay, if I will talk about erotic photo shoots, there is 3 main phases. Okay, first phase is a preparation. Okay, preparation where you where that's the headphones. Oh my gosh. Okay, preparation phase when you're starting planning and testing things. There is the creative phase when you actually hands-on going and creating erotic photography and videos and trying new things, testing and working with lighting, working with body, working with props, toys, whatever models there are. There is a creative phase. And there is a third one phase, which is a post-production and editing phase. Okay, so that phase takes longest time. Okay, longest time to complete, and people very often do not include editing phase in their project. I don't know why, because everyone who would like to have an erotic photo shoot or erotic videos need editing. Okay, it's just so funny for me to realize that people are counting in preparation and action phase while they're shooting erotic photography and videos. And very little people are aware that there is someone there have to sit 3, 5, 7 days to edit all the content and create the galleries and upload that so that they can receive those galleries and links. You see? No one is counting in. Everyone just think that this is what's working and that's how it is, but in the reality it's not like that. When people are creating their own project, their own gig, they have to understand that first is the preparation, second is an action taking and creating the content, and the third phase is editing and post-production, because no one wants to eat a raw fish. Everyone wants it fried with vegetables on the side, okay, and with the nice sauce. Yes or no? So when you create a content, it's like you catching the fish and it's raw, it's just a raw format, okay? And what they want is, different kind of reels, shorts, different kind of lengths of, videos with different transitions and maybe audio checks and maybe music and this and that. There is a proper service. What comes to editing, this is a different service, right? So this happens, of course, digitally on the computer. It's not in the studio, it's not on the setting, okay? When people shoot, they go home, but their event keep going, it's lasting, okay? So if people are shooting half a day or a day session, then someone is editing 3, 5, or 7 days. That's how it goes. And they pay for the whole event and not for one day. That's something what I needed to tell people, because they don't know. They think that, the studio is paying for the covering, But that's not the case, right? So let me just quickly go back to the questions, double tapping the screen with just the tip. I don't know what that means. I don't have any addictions. People who say they don't have any addictions. Look, addiction can be a social media thing. Okay, addiction can be a shopping. Addiction could be your coffee. Addiction can be your sugar levels. Addiction could be anything, okay? Addiction could be for a bad relationship, or, addiction for blondes and so on. When people say I don't have any addictions, I don't believe. Okay, I want to take you to Costco. To Costco. You want to take to Costco. Costco, okay. 11-inch therapy. 11-inch therapy. There are women, and especially this would be very popular in a cuckold fantasy. Okay, cuckold fantasy always is about the model who has a huge size, big or a huge size. That's where you would fit in perfectly, okay? But there are women who actually have a certain request, okay? And not everyone can take it, So you need to find one who needs that therapy. Very beautiful. Does she reply to comments? She replies when she finished her topic and when she is ready to reply and look at the messages. Most beautiful on TikTok. Hello there, how are you doing today? Yes, it's very true because we are taught from young to be ashamed to do that. That's correct. That's correct. And this programming is not only at your end. This programming was mass global. Mass global. I will probably put some thoughts about that, why people being programmed in a specific way, because you see sexuality and sexual energy is a specific resource. It actually drives us forward. It's the energy. Why I'm saying drive us forward. It's a creative energy, creative, where you create babies, okay, you create relationship, you create your life, you create your wellness, okay. This is a creative energy where you recreate yourself, okay. And with that energy you are not going to get old, okay. And oh, let me just tell you this, because this is something happened to me recently. I'm sorry, I need to put that charger on. So I went on Friday, today's Monday, I went on Friday to Lenny Kravitz concert, okay. And I was a fan. I was a fan for many years. And here in London, in Wembley Arena, he was performing, and I could not wait, okay. I could not wait. And I said that I will comment on his concert because it was amazing, you know. And I can tell you, I am a skeptic person, right? There is a 60 something years old man. He had great recordings and great clips and everything. I did not expect that the person at this age can perform like that. So I can tell you that the age group, okay, who was in the auditorium, there were mature people, a lot of mature people, older generation, okay. And the moment it started, he started some kind of a mellow, I don't know, 10-15 seconds mellow, you know, in the smoke. And then he came out and played. Everyone stood up. Like, I don't know what he did, but he commanded the crowd. Everyone stood up and started dancing, and for 2 hours almost, no one sat down. I was just, I could not believe in that energy. You know, I was just sitting seats. I thought I will sit, you know, I'll just move my, you know, my body a little bit. I will just, you know, dance. No, Julia stood up with everyone because there was no other way. He just came in and he just rocked the place. He wasn't out of the breath. Every song was a piece of art. The way it was presented, the way it sounded. He played every song on a different instrument. Okay, his voice was, you know, if you say 10 out of 10, I will say 11. It's just like I was listening, you know. It's not like I was listening and waiting for a fall, but I was waiting when he will get tired, because there was no breaks. Song after song after song after song after. I was tired, okay. I was so tired. I do not remember standing 1 hour and a half with the hands up, okay. I was just thinking, I dreamed this would never last, because the energy that he translated was sexual energy. And everyone who left that concert, they had like a face like they just came there, you know. That's what he did with his energy. Everyone was just after orgasm. That's how they looked. And I was just thinking, and I was watching people, watching the crowd, how they laughed. They had a huge smile, like they seriously had, you know, special encounter with him. That's the energy. I was in shock. I was so buzzing. I was so vibrating. My son, he was saying, I can't believe he's 61. He could not believe that this is possible. And he says, and our grandma, she doesn't go anywhere. How this guy can rock this way in a concert? And the other son said that this is the best what he's seen. And he's quite also, you know, sarcastic. Seriously. It was just wow. It was just so wow that I will go again. That's how I feel, you know. I would just go on another city and another tour and just have this orgasmic experience. That's how it felt. It felt amazing. it created such a big energy and such a boom in my body that next day I was out. Next day I was out. And can you imagine how it happens in this universe? It happens this way, that when you create and you was a participant of such a huge event and you hold this to the body, I was like out of space, and that life makes a balance, okay? And the next day I couldn't last, so I went for a nap, and two robbers break into my house, okay, at 6 o'clock. My oldest son went to meet his friends, and at 6:30 I have two people break into my house, and I was asleep. Can you imagine a Belgrade in my place? It was just shocking, and it just erased everything because I was in shock and I was in fear and police and all kind of a situation. I was very lucky, but that's how the universe is balancing things up, you know? So I had this energy explosion in my body, which is so positive that they send me something different, something negative, so that I will forget. And yesterday I was going to the shops with my youngest, and he was saying, I was so scared that I even forgot about Lenny Kravitz. And I said, me too. So I didn't make that video. I wanted to explain how sexual energy makes people feel young and look young. He was looking like, I don't know, 36 to me. And the cameras were filming him very well. So Lenny Kravitz, very, like it's wow. I'm very conservative when I'm expressing myself, okay? There is related to my programming as well. Okay, I was not allowed to like, you know, and that kind of a situation. I would show you more energy, but I can tell you, it blown me away. It blown me away. The guy looked energetic. He you know, he was never out of the note, never out of the breath. He rocked everyone, and he actually created such an intensity in you know, in this arena. He created intensity, he created sexual connection somehow. He's just like, seriously, let's do this. And that's what keeps him young. You see, when you stop producing this energy, you're getting old. It's just simple as that. You know, you don't have interest, you don't have the information, you're not producing that. So let me just quickly finish with the comments, and I'm done for today. So beautiful. Life can be so boring when you get older. No, I just told you about Lenny Kravitz. No, it can't. Seriously, this is the way you think. It doesn't have to be. If you choose to, you will get a boring life. This is up to you, what you're choosing and what you want to do. I am making erotic photography. Till the last breath, I'm gonna talk about it. You understand? That's my opinion and my way to go. You see? And I'm already doing this more than 20 years. Okay? And I'm seeing myself doing it much, much longer. Okay? My oldest son is 28. And I'm doing it. You know? So don't tell me about 60. I'm very close to your 60. I don't really care what you're just saying here. This is my attitude. This is my energy. This is my life. And I want it different. Someone wants to be a pensioner and watch the TV like my mom. Go and meet my mom. She wants to be at home. You know, at her age. And I want to do different things. You see? That's why I'm talking about erotic photo shoots and erotic energy. How to create it, how to sustain it, how to have that vibration, and how to elevate it. You can work on yourself. Your life is energy. Seriously, your life energy. If you vibrate in a lower energy, you will get ill and die very quickly. You will be removed from this earth, from this matrica. Yeah, so it all depends how you think. I can tell you. And the brain is very clever. It's protecting us, it's making you not to do anything, not to move, not to want things, not to experiment, and give you this information. Yeah, it's too late for you. Yes, you already finished. Yeah. You can listen to those voices. You can listen. Everyone has a choice here, okay? Seriously. I'm just talking about Lenny Kravitz, who is 60 plus, rocking on the stage, looks like ripped like hell, okay, like wow, okay? And 2 hours singing, no breaks. No breaks. He made tired all this arena. I can tell you, everyone was like, finito la commedia with their energies. And he was, come on. So, this is the example that I will follow. I'm not going to look at that one who is already, out of breath. No. That's not me and not for me. So many women just give up. And men, not only women. We sleep in separate bedrooms and it stinks. You sleep in separate bedrooms. I personally also slept in a separate bedrooms. Okay, but there is a reason why. Because my partner had a snoring problem. He snored so loud that I was not able to sleep. Okay, and nothing he wanted to do about it. Okay, so that's the way. So I don't know, you check what is the situation there, why is this way. Okay, then there is always a reason. Like I say, maybe you a reason, maybe her a reason. Okay, and there is always an erotica is the energy where the time for change created. You can change this. Okay, you are in control of your life. If you are saying that it's okay for you but you do not like it, then don't complain. You see, it's a fact. I know that people live this way. Okay, I know, but you see, you need to live in the way what is best for you, and of course best for your partner. And then you find the reason why. That's the only thing, because there is always a reason. Right? I'm sorry, mister. I have energy wasting away. I don't believe in wasting the energy. Okay? I don't believe in that because you see, we are here feeding. We are here batteries, walking batteries, and our energy has been consumed. Not necessarily by you, actually. Okay, I don't want to go there. Okay, but you are creating, and someone else is eating your energy, and that's what you call wasting time. But you always can change. Okay, always can change. We always. How to say, strive to get better, strive to evolve. Okay, so if you notice something, the first thing you need to see it. You see, when you think about it, or this is just one way, when you see it and when you know it, then there is a room to change. That's why I'm using this erotic photography, because I show them, we're shooting content and then I show them on the camera, so that they can see it finally, what I'm talking about, so that they can change and do different things for themselves. Women hold on the cards when they cheat. Cheat women and cheat men. Okay? There is a reason why women cheat most of the time. Okay? And men cheat because their testosterone levels are going down. Okay, that's unconscious reaction. They just want to feel masculine and they want to feel alive. Okay, and by cheating, that's automatically raises their hormonal levels. Then cheating is, or infidelity is to reconnect with yourself, with some kind of the parts that you already lost in the relationship. Okay, to change your biological state, and I'm talking about hormones, right? and also when there is an erotica is missing in the relationship. Okay, and when I'm saying erotica is missing, it means that you can do it, but your relationship or your intimacy cannot be hot and sexy. You will be just doing it, and that's the thing. Okay, so there are many ways how to go about it. Okay, many go about it. It just very often I think about this. Okay, this way we are all projected with our eyes away from us. Okay, our eyes is not looking into us. Okay, you know, like a horse, so that the horse will run straight, it puts these, you know, shadow things so that the horse would not go left and right. This is the horse. Our eyes are coming away from us, so we are very naturally seeing what's happening everywhere else, but not fucking here. Okay, that's how the life designed. So the energy is the only place where you can actually feel yourself, recognize yourself, and understand yourself. Because really, you cannot see yourself, only in the mirror. And the only person who will tell you about yourself is your partner, because he lives with you. The person who next to you, the children will tell you about you, your partner will tell you about you, friends will tell you about you. You are not able to see yourself. That is why erotic photo shoot matters and help, because there you have a professional who is taking pictures of you in every angle that is not even unreachable. You know, for you it's unreachable. When I'm creating erotic photo shoots, I always say I am making pictures that you are not able to do for yourself. It's as simple as that. And there is many meanings included in that. Not only framing, artistic approach, not only creativity. No, I am programming people into a better self transformation. That means that I know when the person is vibrating in a low energy, and I know that if he continue vibrating in a low energy, he will die soon. It's just simple as that. There will be something happen to him, you see, and the system will remove him. So that is why people need to understand that changing your state changes your life. Okay, and when someone is talking about someone else, everyone should be talking about themselves. You know, first, talk about yourself. And tell me now what you think about yourself and the cheating. Tell me, I'm on live and I'm still here for 5 minutes, okay? So, okay, interesting, you need a handyman. I need a handyman. I need a handyman. I need a handyman because I need to paint the garage. There is a light in the garage broken. I need to fix one shower. I need a handyman. I need to sort my garden. I need a handyman, yes. Okay. Hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello. I'm just going through what is there always, what is bad. Absolutely. Yes, this is powerful. Visually. Yes, visually we are all designed to process our information visually in our brain. Everything what we'll see has been recorded by your machine in here, by your computer, and stored, put in the archives. Okay, so that is why I am seriously, what I'm doing is I am not looking at anyone else's work very much. I don't need, to see anything, right? I'm doing my own thing. I'm very selective with people who I'm, who I'm with, okay? What I'm hearing from people. I'm very much now, aware of these things. You see, because we are recording everything. I don't need any more rubbish. Yeah, I don't need any more rubbish, okay? And visually people accept more information and processes easier because it's natural, okay? we can hear. That's why talking therapy doesn't help that way, because you listening and you talking. Okay. And I was thinking always, why this therapy is so long to achieve results, why it's such a long lasting process, why it's so little effective, why if it's so effective and couples do therapy they still break up, like big percentage, like huge, like I don't know, 70 or something, a huge percentage of couples still break up after. I was just thinking, why? You know why? Because they need a different approach, visual and tactile, physical, to sort the issues and change, to make that flip, make that transition. So I'm practicing this at my studio and I'm talking about it. Good morning to TikTok, most beautiful. God bless you today. Thank you. And tomorrow and forever. Thank you for all. That's so true. I'm grateful. Meet you here. Okay. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Chocolate thunder in the building. In the building. In the building. Thank you. This makes sense. Thank you. I've just seen all the messages. Today I was talking about erotic photo shoot and touching. Okay, because touching creates the energy. When people start touching themselves, that's how they start. Okay, that's how they start to go into erotic photo shoots. And for those who never done erotic photo shoot before, this is the only way. Okay, when you sit, you start rubbing your body, and depending on what you do with your touching, right, you are creating a certain energy. The more you touch, the hands will follow in the places, and what you do, that's how you escalate. As well as touching your partner. That's how the photo shoot starts. Okay, of course you're doing then different touches later, yeah, to create absolutely amazing and hot and sexy scenes, right? But touches is the first thing what I can notice, and how people express themselves, how they express that connection. Okay, and like I say, you can see very well when people don't know how to touch each other, when they don't want to touch each other, when they do not take touching seriously. They touch each other as a need, as a must, as a, how to say, very staged, right? Then that's how I was even thinking that erotic photo shoot for people who are already, couples who are already dead, and I say dead, right, is a very good way out. Because very often people stay together and do not see it. They just do not see it. They program and they program themselves on a certain action, being together, being in a routine. But there is no love, passion, desire is not going on for a really long time. But they just stay together, right? If they want to stay together and this is what they want, is one thing, right? But there are a lot of people who want a better life for themselves, another chance, something different, and they are not getting out of this relationship for one single reason, because they don't see it. They just don't see that it's over. So I had these couples and I had the photo shoots who split up. Who split up and had a different life. But they you see, when you are with the person, right, and maybe one of them, you see what very often happens. One of them is still in that raving mode, is still remembering things, right? And the other one is moved on. But because it's convenient and because comfortable and because it's, it's a lot of pain to separate, and it's a lot of emotional and it's just a lot. Okay, it's just why people don't want to. I know why. So, but when they see this, they get enough information, because they already clearly see this for themselves, that there is nothing, that nothing is holding them, that there is no, that's the information sometimes they need to see. So that's what I'm talking about, touches, and that's what I'm talking about, relationship. And today was a very nice conversation. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining my live. And I'm usually translating the whole week. Okay, and Tomorrow there will be another topic, and if you like to join me, please do. Okay. And thank you so much for today. It was really nice to be here with you. Let me just end that and say goodbye. Bye till the next time. And goodbye to you. And see you tomorrow. Bye.